Children often find that moving from a time of curiosity and playfulness into a school environment can be really stressful. There are those who adapt well, and then there are others who find that that transition can keep them from being focused and have concentration, which is where they need it when they go to school. And also it can keep them from a place of where they are used to being highly active, which now shows up in a classroom environment as hyperactivity, and also can show up as behavioral abnormalities, we'll call it. Some of the stressors that children deal with are pressure to perform, not only for their parents, for their teachers, but also peer pressure, so that they look like they're smart, so that they fit in. And then today, in these days, it's social media as well, where there's a lot of pressure to show up as being something where they want to fit in. And this, in and of itself, can create an enormous amount of stress for children. One of the things that I've discovered in the 12 years of doing research on this unique process called access bars is that it allows people to adapt to their environments with less stress. Access bars is this remarkable and unique process that a practitioner, when they lightly touch 32 points on the head, it allows the bar of energy to be created and a new sphere of energy. And in that process, it releases stressors, calms brainwave patterns, and creates deep relaxation. What we found in scientific research is that access bars slows down brainwave patterns and can take people from very stressed environment, which could be as high beta, down to as low as even alpha or theta waves. What that means is that people can think more clearly. On top of that, in all the research that we've done, looking at brainwave patterns, is that there's this change in brain coherence. And what that means is that the brain starts to communicate better between regions. When you have people who are stressed or have early childhood trauma, there tends to be this level of dysregulation. So this increase in brain coherence allows the brain to communicate better, faster, where decision-making is easier, and people have this calm sense of focus and concentration. For children who are hyperactive, have behavioral issues, or they tend to be stressed in that environment, it tends to bring them to a sense of more calm, happiness, and a sense of being able to have ease in that more confined environment that they're not used to. What we've seen in studies on children who have had access bars in a school environment or educational environment is that they tend to become calmer, their marks improve, their behavior becomes easier not only in the classroom but in a home environment, and they tend to be more self-regulated. And this is one of the things that all the behavioralists are looking for, is how do you create an environment of self-regulation? And access bars seems to bring that easily into an environment for kids. And one of the things that I really love about access bars is it's self-regulated. And what I mean by that is that the person who receives the bar session is the one who dictates what occurs in the session. So the child, if they're receiving a bar session, actually is the one who allows the change to occur, not the practitioner who is doing the access bar session. There was a study that I did on the youth who were having exams for their final year of school, and the degree of stress was insurmountable for them. And what occurred was that they were calmer. They actually managed to regulate their stress and do better, and not be stressed about the exam, but actually be as brilliant as they wanted to be. How this can be applied, and how it's being applied globally, is that in schools, either practitioners are coming in and doing sessions for not only the students, but sometimes for the teachers as well. And they are doing the sessions for them and receiving them as often as it's determined. And then there's also an environment where the children learn how to do access bars. And it's really amazing. So the school adds access bars as part of the curriculum, and the kids learn how to do access bars with each other. So they set aside time, maybe even as little as 40 minutes, to add access bars to the school curriculum. And this way the kids can have self-regulation And they also is a very cost-effective way to improve well-being in a school environment. To learn access bars, it can take as little as 6 hours or a day. But in a school environment, oftentimes how it's introduced is in shorter segments, which makes it easier for children to learn. So they might learn access bars over a 6-week period in short increments. However, the effects of access bars are not negated by the length of time that it takes them to learn it. People often ask, if access bars has the capacity to slow down brainwave patterns, will it slow down their children very much the way drugs do when they're given for ADHD or any other kind of challenge? And access bars actually, because of the differences in terms of increasing brain coherence and slowing down brainwave patterns, collectively, that actually makes them faster and more brilliant at what they do or who they are. With access bars, it allows kids to slow down, to be more present, and actually have focus and concentration that would allow them to be able to manage well in a school environment.